All right, we got it. My laptop, and I guess yours, it says that we are live on Facebook. But you guys, you know me. I have to see myself first before I say, there you go. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are, beautiful souls. I am so happy and so grateful. Today is a new episode of the Truth Runners Talk Show. And I think that's the English word, thrilled and absolutely grateful to have as a guest today Bukeka Blakemore with me. Welcome, Bukeka, to the Truth Runners Talk Show.
Oh, Christina, thank you so much for having me. I love the title. Love the title. And running with the truth sounds like. And we're on Truth Runners. I just love the episode you've done before. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, thank you. The idea for the Truth Runners actually came, I was thinking, and I saw the quote, I think it was Nietzsche who said that people don't like hearing the truth because they don't want their illusion destroyed. I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna call my my talk show Truth Runners. So yeah,
Yes.
that's the thing. Guys, Bukeka is new into our group. I think it's the first time when you join us. So I would love to introduce her so you get to know her a little bit more. And then we take it from there. And by the way, I've got new glasses, guys. So, Bukeka, she was born Gretchen Elizabeth. At 6 years old, with her parents' blessings, she changed her name to Bukeka Bosere. I love it. As a performer, Bukeka is known for giving it all she's got. Her remarkable ability to infuse story and music leaves individuals hanging on to her everywhere. Bukeka delivers inspirational performances to audiences all around the world. In addition, she uses her business assets to empower entrepreneurs with accessible and affordable tools to foster creativity and brand expansion. These include a turnkey business model with multiple income streams, consulting on international creative projects, streaming entertainment media content, diversity, equity, and inclusion awareness, education, and adult learning support. She is also an entrepreneur and a global influencer, presenting for global conferences, retreats, and workshops. Bukeka's heart's desire is to live an immensely beautiful life and help others to do the same. Oh, that's beautiful, Bukeka. You're doing so many things. I was like, oh my God, this woman is awesome.
Well, I'm just glad I'm a little bit organized. That's what that's what I say.
You're organized. I'm not. I try so hard to put myself together and put a schedule. But when I have a schedule, I feel like I'm bounded. I don't want to be bounded. And then my schedule is flying around and I mix up time zones and I miss things. I'm doing all kind of stuff. But yeah, this is me. Our topic from today, Bukeka, we said we are going to say about, actually it's called You Are Worthy of Wonderful. There are two words actually pretty powerful. One is worthy and one is wonderful.
Yes.
And if it's okay with you, I would love to dig just a little bit more deep in these two words. What exactly worthy means? Who is worthy?
So worthy is that inherent worth. It's that message that lets everyone know that we are inherently worthy. We come into the world worthy. And many people, speaking of truth runners, are really scared about acknowledging that truth about themselves. We're very accustomed to thinking that we are not worthy, that we have to do something, that we have to cater to other people or to a particular person or people. And we have to basically put our own self down in order for other people to deem us worthy. And that is not the truth. That is not the truth at all. We come into this world worthy of having a life that is wonderful, that is sustainable, that provides us with all of the things that we need in order to have a life that is profound and immensely beautiful, as I mentioned. So that's what I mean by worthiness, not being qualified to be worthy, but to know that we are inherently worthy.
Wow, that's beautifully said. I really, really love what you are saying, because if I'm thinking about myself, so I'm talking about my own experience, worthy, when you said, I don't feel worthy at all. And I felt always that I have to prove something. I have to prove to someone, I have to do this and that and please, and all this kind of conditioning in order for me to feel worthy. And I had to do a lot of inner work until I, layer by layer, I put down all those conditionings, consider conditioning. And I said, you know what, Christina, you are worthy. However, still, sometimes still, I fall back, in that trap of, am I worthy really? Am I worthy to be loved? Am I worthy to be this and that and that?
And
And
you're not by yourself. You're really not by yourself. And I think it is a part of that journey for those that are on that worthiness track of peeling back the layers and finding that we repeatedly have to come back to that realization. And so don't feel like you're unworthy simply because you fall back into thinking that you're not, because the world is inundated with messages over and over and over again. Our subconscious mind is definitely reliving or retelling the story that we are not worthy. So we shouldn't beat ourselves up every time we come back to that place of wondering, oh, should I do this or should I do that? I mean, even as I share this message with people, I still have that situation. I will give you a couple of examples. We are, well, I'll just give you one from yesterday. How about from yesterday, right? So I was asked to join a group of women called Ladies Legacy or something of that nature. I can't remember the exact name. But for just that split second, I was like, oh, now why? Oh, instead of course,
yeah.
you should have contacted me 10 years ago, right? But, and it's not about ego. It's not about ego, and it's not about deservability. It's just that knowing that all of the things that we desire in life, all of the ways in which we want to feel, be loved, have that sense of belonging, knowing that who we are powerful beings, the ability to create and manifest and demonstrate what it is that is within us, to know that those things, those gifts, are ones that are designed to be shared. They are designed to be presented. They are designed that way. So when we pull back and say, oh, I don't know, we're not living up to or stepping into the power of our own being. And so that's why we are having to have this conversation about worthiness, because most of us don't feel that what we have within us is worth sharing with the world or presenting to the world.
Wow, that's really powerful what you were saying. I so recognize myself. And as you were saying, that, oh, it's the first word, it came self-doubt. Why do I doubt myself? Again, for me, it goes back to, to this limiting belief, to the beliefs, to inherited beliefs, basically, because some of those beliefs are not even ours.
Exactly.
Many of them, most of them.
Right.
And then you start to doubt yourself. Really? Me? Wow. Whereas, as you said, I'm like, yeah, you should have invited me 10 years, 20 years ago. Come on. So it's really, but to get at the point where you are at right now and where I am, and still we are on a journey. And the journey, I think, is going to take it's a lifetime or two or more.
Yeah.
But many people, they don't get to this point. Is there anything what you can do or how you can start, because you reach a point in your life, some they call it midlife crisis. Okay.
Right.
I don't think that's midlife crisis. That's the time when you start to awaken and you start wondering, who am I? Why am I here? Yes, it's happening usually midlife, I mean 30s, on your 30s, 40s. I think it
Yeah.
was for me. But that's the time when you actually start to think and you start to recognize that you are more than merely a job. You are not here to please others. You are not here to prove anything to anyone. But it takes half of your lifetime to get there. Why is that?
Well, you said it. I mean, we have been dealing with this for since literally since we come into the world. Okay, you think let's go back to when I changed my name. All right. And at 6 years old, 6 years
It's
old.
beautiful. I mean, oh,
And for that story to even become a story that I share with people was an awakening that people were like, what made you at 6 years old make that decision? Now, obviously, it wasn't all of the sages, the wisdom, because I was so young, but it was something within me that said, I want to claim my identity. I want to claim who I am. I want to claim it, as opposed to it being given to me. And I tell people Gretchen Elizabeth is a wonderful name, but at the time I was around a lot of people from all over the world that had amazing different names like Shabaka and Imani, and my parents' friends would call me Little Gretchen. And maybe it was the word little in front of it that caused me to trigger something.
yeah,
But nonetheless, I felt like there was something to that I wanted to have a name that sounded like that, something that was more unique, possibly.
Mm.
So I chose that because when I read the description, it said princess. Now, leap years, decades later, I go to South Africa, which is where the name originates from. It's from the language of Xhosa. And there was a minister there that said, do you know the meaning of your name? I said, well, I believe it means princess. And he said, no, it means the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, which I'm like, that's awesome. I'll take that too. But as a little girl, or as children, we are given messages on the daily basis of why we cannot. We learn the word no. We hear it over and over again, more than we hear the word yes. Okay. Let's look at it from the perspective of little girls and how the messaging that we get as young women and little girls that tell us that we are only worthy if we are deemed suitable to please a man. Okay. We get messages through media. If you are this size, if you are that size, if you have that cream, or if you have that hair color, or all of those things that tell us that the natural aspects of ourselves are not good enough, let alone marketable, right? So we hear these things all of our lives, all of our lives, all of our lives. And then we wonder, by the time we get to that midlife, to that age of 30 or 40, why we feel so bad about who we are. Why haven't we had the success, or why have we had this or that? Well, as we continue to operate for decades, or at least, 10 to 20 years old for every single day, operating from that standpoint of I am not as much as I can be unless something externally tells me that I'm okay, then by the time we get to our 30s, that's our method of operation. And it's depressing. It's not even sustainable. We can't sustain our joy. We can't sustain our desire to thrive in an internal environment of thinking that we are not worthy unless we have some type of external event tell us that we are. So when we get to that point, there's something that happens where we have, in some aspects, so because we just celebrated Easter, I'll put it like this: we have the come to Jesus talk with ourselves, right? Or we have that moment where we recognize that we've got to make a change. Sometimes that happens through relationship, where we may have been in a relationship for years and years and years in that thinking of I'm not worthy, and then we wake up and we go, is this relationship going to work? Happens with the same thing with a job, happens with the same thing with how we deal with money, how we deal with all of these areas of our lives. We have a shift in our consciousness that says you're either going to continue to go down this road or you're going to make a change. And when we make a change, that is when we say, I am worthy. I am worthy of being treated better. I am worthy of having a livelihood that makes my heart sing. I am worthy of having an income that allows me to do all the things that I want to do in the world. I am worthy of being in a community that loves and accepts me, where I can also contribute to that community. And so we go throughout life thinking one thing, but then we have a shift, and it's our opportunity in that moment to go with the shift or continue to go down a path that doesn't lead us to the joy and happiness that we desire.
Wow, that's really, really wonderfully said. And thank you so much, Bukeka, for sharing. I recognize so much truth in it, and I recognize myself in it. I've been like that. And when you said that shift happens and you take the opportunity and you change, or you go down the road and you live your whole life feeling the way how you felt before. What I noticed is that unfortunately, many, many people are afraid of change. But at the end of the day, truth is, and I've learned this and I know this, that the only thing that is constant is the change.
True.
Because everything changes, whether you want or not, it's going to change. And if you are willing to change and you embrace the change can be easier. It goes with flow. I mean, it goes, but when you resist it, and human beings are resistant to change because it will take them out, from the comfort zone, not comfort zone, from the familiar.
Yes.
Because someone said to me, I can't remember even who said it. How can you call it comfort zone when it's not comfortable? Familiar, maybe, but not comfortable at all. And then they are afraid to go out, from the comfort zone and change, because change is so scary. It's different. But the truth is that different is good. I used to be afraid of change. I was like, oh, no, I'm not moving in the beginning. And then I just jumped. I've got very impulsive. Oh my God, I was a rebel. But the problem is that I didn't think with my heart. I was thinking from ego, and I was trying. My why was wrong. My motivation was wrong, and I've made all the bad decisions possible. I made all the wrong choices I could ever make because I wanted to prove something, and that comes from ego. And I didn't know that I can do better for myself. But then when you said the shift happened, around mid-30s, I was like, okay, settle down, girl, hold your horses, and now think.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, change. My whole life was full of changes, but not in a good way. Okay, I was like, okay, that's not gonna happen again. We're gonna shift. And change, it goes with a lot of inner work, really. A lot of shadow work goes with healing what we call inner child. And for me, it was most of all finding out who am I.
Yes.
I didn't know who I am. I had no vision. I didn't know what am I going to do? What I'm doing in this life? I'm worthy of what? I don't know what I want to do. So what I'm saying is, okay, you feel deep down, and okay, I would love to change, and you are willing to change Find your why. Find your, oh, I hate this. Hate is a harsh word, but I don't like the word purpose. But find where you want to be. Just set a direction. It's like a GPS. If you do not have, I want to go from A to B. If you don't put a B, the GPS is not going to take you anywhere.
Right.
Right?
So
So that's
true.
it. So I say, I want to be there. And then starts the change. The changing process, it's maybe like this, maybe hard, maybe not, maybe for sure. I'm not going to sell you candies here, guys. It's not easy, really. I mean, it wasn't for me. I think it wasn't for you. And the many, many women I've been talking, and we are on this journey. It's a beautiful journey. It's not easy, but it's worth it. And here's the word again. It's worth it because you are worthy.
Yes. I think there's even a commercial that has that
Oh, really?
product that has because you're worth it. That's so funny.
Oh, really?
But yeah, but you're so right. And I'm so glad that you brought up the inner work. So a lot of people don't really understand what that means. What is inner work? And what that means is the ability to be in the quiet, to be in the stillness. And many people are speaking of uncomfortable with the stillness because we're so used to stimuli coming at us all the time, all the time, all the time. But when we get into the stillness, we get into the quiet, what people will find is that they will begin to have revelations and messages. Okay. People get scared of these revelations and these messages. They don't know if it's something that they should trust or not, right? Because it's not coming from the external. It's all coming within, and we're not told, we're not given permission in many aspects to go within, to contemplate. But that whole philosophy of know thyself comes from the ability to go within, to get into the quiet, to understand what it is that internally brings me joy. So a lot of people find this through the element of nature, right? Just to walk among the leaves, just to walk among the trees, and to find yourself basking in the sun or being in the water. Those types of things help us to go within, to have that quiet space of reflecting upon our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions and our desires. The other way that we go within is very simple. It's breath. People do not take breath seriously when it is the thing. It is the thing that keeps this body temple going. So I encourage people to really honor and be contemplative of the breath, and allow, as a singer, that's very important, because when we're taking in that breath, in order to sustain a note, right, we have to take a deep breath in. And that breath has to go all the way down to our diaphragm. It drops that muscle down. It expands the lungs. It expands the entire core of our being. It's just the breath alone. And when we release it, right, you can feel it even coming out of the pores of your skin, out of the palms of your hands. You can feel the breath release. And what I find is that when people really understand how powerful, or when they come, I'll say this, when they come into connection with their breath, then they become to realize the immense gift that they are and that they have. Without that breath, you're not here. So I encourage breath work. I encourage nature. Specifically in nature is the element of water. There's a spirit. I know, right? There's a spiritual called Wade in the Water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. And to just give you a little bit of history about that spiritual, right, is that it was actually a call from those who were trying to free slaves Black people that were enslaved in the United States.
Mhm.
And it was a call to them to say, you know, okay, it's time to go. All right. And go to this river. All right. Or this. Okay. And and to just kind of be at ease, wade in it, you know, be still. Okay. It also had that God's going to trouble the water. That kind of goes with the element of change, right? So you're going to get some discomfort. You're going to get uncomfortable with your comfort zone, right? And then you want to get through to the other side. You want to get through the other side. So water has been a message in music and art and everything, because it is such a powerful way to literally cleanse the soul, cleanse the mind, cleanse the body as well. So breath, water, stillness. And then from that external standpoint of what do we need, or what can we utilize, what tools can we utilize to help change our thinking, are affirmations, positive thinking, you know, just changing our thoughts. A lot of times we'll wake up in the morning and go, oh God, here comes another day. It's not going to be good or whatever. Well, then that's the direction you're going to go.
Exactly.
So what we want to do is we want to begin to create those types of affirmations and statements vocally that change the trajectory of our day.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that, Bukeka. Hi, Tanya. Thank you so much for joining in and watching us. And guys, if you are watching, please feel free to put your questions in the comments. If you are too shy, then you can reach out to Bukeka or even to me after the live, and we are going to try to answer the questions you may have. Thank you so much for the likes and hearts you've been sending us today. I'm loving, Bukeka, what you said about the breath work, the water, and the stillness, especially all of them. But for stillness, what I'm observing is that, again, I'm going back to myself and how I used to be. I wouldn't sit for a second. 24 hours, I think. I'll always try to find something to do, just not to sit. And I know people who are running around and doing this and that and cleaning and cooking and business meeting and phone call, and just not to be still. Because as you said, when you sit still and you are with yourself, then you actually start to talk with who else? With yourself. And that's a really, really, really hard stuff to do. It's hard in the beginning. For me, it was hard in the beginning. I was like, okay, I start, this and judge and criticize and do all this and that. And I'm like, okay, that's not good. It's not going anywhere. Let's change. And then the inner talk, the talk with myself goes deeper and deeper and cleaner. And then I was asking help. I found out, oh, there are people to help me. I don't have to do that on my own, because Christina, I'm too proud. Me, no, I can do it by myself. I don't need anyone, to help me. But I realized that it's really, really difficult by yourself. You can, but it might take longer and it's painful. But help is always out there. People like you and like other beautiful souls I've met in the past. I was 2 years. Oh my God, help is there. Help is always there. But for some reason, we are too shy or too proud to ask help, right? And you were saying about the water. Oh my God, I love water. Water is everything. Water is an extraterrestrial being, being here to help us actually, go all this through.
Yeah.
And there is something what you said about the breath work. We don't breathe normally. That's true. When I started to do yoga, I was like, and then the girl said, Christina, what are you doing? I'm breathing. No, you're not. I am. Oh no, because you stop here. What's that? And unfortunately, and then I started to, to observe people and to see, and it's true. We don't know how to breathe actually. And every breath, we should be grateful for every breath what we have. And that's again one thing what I've learned, gratitude. because we take we take everything actually for granted. And we
Right.
just forget to be grateful for
Yeah.
all the things what we already have. And living, knowing your worth and living a wonderful life, gratitude is a really, really big part of it. And it's a really, really, it's important. It's one of the greatest tools how you can actually achieve and get there to have, a wonderful life. Because we are not grateful for the air, we are not grateful for the, I'm breathing, I open my eyes, oh my God, I woke up. We take that for granted.
Yeah.
I have water, I have food, I have internet, and I can talk with people in Kansas and I'm in UK. I mean, come on, that's wonderful. But we take things for granted. I just mentioned a few.
We do. And I think we take things for granted really from that place of everything is given, you know? Um, and instead of appreciating that, we just say, well, it's there, we
Yes,
don't have
yes.
to consider
Yes,
ourselves
I
about
can
it.
take it.
Yeah, yeah. Until it's missing.
Hmm.
And then when it's missing, oh, we're like, oh my goodness, we'll just, take for the situation, or an example of, just for weather, just for lightheartedness, for weather, right? And we're in 80 degrees and it's sunshine for days in and days out, cool breeze, and all of a sudden we've got weather, we've got storms and coldness, right? And boy, when we were just basking in that sunshine, we just thought, hey, this is how it is, until it wasn't. All right. So, but think about that from a deeper perspective, right? All of the things, all of the people, a lot of times when we're when we have someone dear to us pass away. Okay. My mother passed away in 2018. And oh, she's wonderful, amazing. That's her voice. Sometimes I think I'm singing for you, Mom, because that's her voice coming through these pipes, I tell you what. And so but many times we'll go to those services, those memorial services, and we'll hear all about the accolades, all about the things that they did, and we're like, how come we didn't know this? Well, we took the, this is Mom, she's there to, take care of me. She's there to give me love, hugs. We didn't know that she was an ambassador and so, or that he was the person that saved someone's life. We don't think about those things. And so we don't want to wait until it's gone to appreciate and to be grateful, to have that heartfelt experience with what is right now in front of us. So when we do that, that really is also an exercise in worthiness, because worthiness and appreciation go hand in hand, right? We can't appreciate ourselves and not feel worthy.
Sure.
Right? So that act of appreciation and gratitude is very important, along with those other aspects that I mentioned. I agree with you 100%. Gratitude is way up there. Yes.
It's huge. It's huge. We, oh, sorry. Gratitude is really, really one important element. And you were talking about wonderful life. What do you mean when you say, I know everybody has a definition of wonderful, but when you say when you are worthy of wonderful, what do you mean by that, Bukeka?
What I mean by that, if people in your group understand vibration, all right, that
Thank
is
you.
vibration. Yes, 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 yes. That we are vibrating on a level that feels immensely wonderful. Now, for some people, the outer looks different. Okay. So some people with feeling that aspect of wonderful is being able to fly on that Lear jet or something of that nature, on a chartered flight somewhere, having the ability to do that. But some people think, I want to be in my garden all day long. I want to be with the bees and the wasp and the butterflies, and create a beautiful garden for not only myself to enjoy, but for others to enjoy. Some people look at wonderful as having a community of people around them that just makes them feel soar, where everyone is supporting one another, where you can contribute to the conversation, and having that ability to on an ongoing basis. So wonderful really is something that can be determined by each individual. But as long as we are vibrating on that high, level of, I am here, I am thriving, I am contributing, I am receiving. A lot of times we don't understand the power of receiving. We're so into giving. How much can I give? What about receiving? What about allowing the people in your life to give you the love that you are, the love that you deserve, the love that you are worthy of, so forth and so on. So that's what I mean by wonderful, being in a place of vibration, and an experience, a mind and heart and soul experience that causes you to say to yourself, I am well. I am well. All is well. There is no loss. All is well. And despite the things that are going on around me, I can find a place within me that says, I'm good. I am enough. I am enough.
Wow, thank you so much, Bukeka. And it comes to me when you said about receiving and giving, that especially we women are so used to give. When it comes to receiving, it's really difficult in the beginning.
Yeah.
But the truth is, we are worthy. I mean, we worth, to receive as well.
Yes.
Again, I go back to myself. I was dressed nicely, really, and then someone gave me a compliment. Oh, and yeah, this. So we cannot even receive a compliment in the beginning. True, or not? Your earrings are beautiful, Bukeka, and then we're like, yeah, this thing. So we simple compliments we cannot receive, and we have to basically learn how to not just give but receive. It's for us, it's given to us, so receive. And then you were talking about vibration. I mean, vibrations, frequencies, the higher the better, true.
Yes.
But I'm saying this, when someone is in a place of, let's say, they experience stress, anxiety or something, and then you say, Bukeka, Christina, how can I vibrate high when I feel, I'm sorry, I'm going to say the word shitty?
Yeah. Yeah. And boy, that's a really good question. When you're in that place, it's really hard to see to see how you can receive anything. So for those individuals that are really struggling with that, I say do things in bite size. Okay. Maybe you don't have 45 minutes to sit in meditation every morning, but maybe you've got 45 seconds. A lot can change in 45 seconds, to just sit and breathe for 45 seconds. The other thing I would suggest is that, while all this chaos is going on around us, we've got to learn to let go. A lot of people find or think that surrender is a weakness, but it is not. Being able to surrender and let go is likely your most powerful stance, because in that place where you're not holding on to something that doesn't serve you, or holding on to something that is unable to sustain you, then it's time to let it go. It goes back to change. People find it difficult to change and all of that. But for that person that you're speaking of, that's in that very low place, you have to let it go. I was in a situation a few years ago where I had a dear family member that I felt like I was losing because of the situation they were going through in their life. And I wondered, will I ever have this closeness? Will I ever have this person in my life again? And to feel that I might not was gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching, okay? But if I had stayed there, I wouldn't have been able to sustain myself. I wouldn't have been able to do mundane things like just go to work or clean the house or do those things because I'm stuck. I'm stuck. So when we take the time to let it go and to know that really the only thing that you have any control over is your ability to shift and make change when necessary, then you'll begin to see that window open a little bit and you start to feel yourself, oh, I feel a little better. Oh, I feel a little better. And then you start to feel that vibration and that sense of energy, rise up within you to do the things that you're called to do.
Thank you. And this goes back, and I have to say this to the wonderful, because like wonderful, as you said, means different things to different people, like a garden and bees, or for the other one, a jet and millions in the bank account.
Right.
Success, it also means different things to different people.
Mm-hmm.
And with those people who are vibrating, they're a low frequency, and you feel like, I can't stand up from here. Just a tiny bit of, ray of light that also can shift, and it's called success.
Yes.
And success means different things to different people. And when you are able to raise above, and then one step forward, one step, and the frequencies goes and goes, and the doors are open and open. Oh my God, that's success. Not necessarily the millions in a bank account. Yes, that's good. It's nice. Okay, welcome. But it's not all. Really, it's not all. Having a wonderful life, and you are worthy of a wonderful life, as Bukeka said, it doesn't really mean what I'm hearing you saying, Bukeka, having millions. Yes, it's good. It's nice to have them there, the millions of dollars, but it's not all about that. It's not all about that.
Right. Because even the people with millions of dollars, for the most part, they want the millions of dollars so that they can get the things that make them happy.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, we are all pursuing happiness, and we forgot that happiness, it's not from outside. It comes from here. It comes from inside.
Right.
You can be happy in a tiny little house, and you can be unhappy in a huge palace.
Right.
I mean, come on, it's true. It all comes from you, from inside. Everything comes from within.
Yeah.
Nothing. The change comes from within. The light comes from within. The darkness comes from within. Let's face it. Your smile comes from within, and your smile to people's life, it comes from within.
Yes. Exactly. It comes from within, and it comes from knowing that you are worthy of that inner light that is shining for everyone to see. And when you aren't having one of those great days where you're shining and bubbly and brilliant, you are also worthy of having that time alone, to be in the solitude, to be with your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts, and simply allow yourself to self-heal and reflect. So all of those things are so important. To know that it all comes within, though, is where we begin.
Thank you. That was beautifully said. Here we go. I'm aware of the time really, and before we leave, before we close our live from today from the Truth Runners, I would kindly like to ask you, Bukeka, what would be your message for our audience who are watching now live, or you guys who are watching the replay, then just put replay in the comments. So what would be your message to all those beautiful souls out there listening to us?
I'm going to leave you with a message that was gifted to me. There was a minister who was doing a series on creating relationships, creating authentic relationships. And this happened right around the time that I was also recording a song that I wrote called I Am Worthy of Love. And the message is, I am worthy, not because of what I know, not because of what I do. It's simply because I am. I am, I am. And so therefore, I am worthy.
Thank you so much, Bukeka. If you would love to reach the Bukeka, guys, you can go to her website, which is www.bukekastyle.com, or you can find her on Facebook. As you can see, she is amazing, and she just only showed us a teeny bit today in this 45 or 50 minutes she'll be with us today. So if you have any questions, if she resonates with you and you feel that she is the one who can help you in your journey, then please feel free to reach out to her. I would love to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being with me today, Bukeka, and thank you guys for joining us today. Until next time, I'm going to see you next Tuesday. I'm sending you lots of love and light as always. Bye for
Thank
now.
you. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Christina. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sunshine.